live. We're live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Home Business Labs live broadcast. It's going to be a fun evening. I want to especially welcome all of our guests who are perhaps joining us for the first time. If you don't know who I am, well, I probably should have put my name on the screen, but I didn't. I'm John Lavenia. I'm one of the co-founders here with the lab. And joining us tonight for our main host and for our main presentation is a guy who I've known for about a decade now. We've done a lot of business together. We've owned businesses together. We've done separate things as well, and both of us, alongside each other and also working separately, have made millions of dollars in the home business world. So, and I don't say that to brag. I just want to impress upon you the magnitude of the experience that you're going to be getting here tonight. We're going to be hearing from Tony Rush, who is also a co-founder here with Home Business Labs. As I mentioned, he's made multiple seven figures, online and offline. So he knows what he's doing. He knows what works, and he knows what to do to assist people, perhaps brand new people, perhaps like yourself, who may not yet have had that sort of a result. Statistically speaking, most people attempting to make money in home-based business or in online marketing are not quite getting the results they want. And he wants to help you correct that here tonight. We in Home Business Labs want to help you correct that here tonight. So what you're going to be getting is, first and foremost, a strategy based on Tony's experience of here's what has actually worked from an operational strategy standpoint. Okay, here's the theory, if you will, behind the madness, right? Here's what we do in the lab. And then second, you're going to get ways to apply that practically, okay, to actually engage if you want to make use of this information. And in my assessment, that's the whole point of learning stuff, right, is that you get to use it. And then third, he's going to share with you some ideas and some ways to speed up the whole process and simplify it greatly. Okay, because you can actually, if you really pick up everything he puts out here tonight, you can accomplish more in the next year than most people accomplish perhaps in their entire online marketing or home business career. Okay, now I know that's a bold statement, but I am witness to that sort of a reality. Okay, I've experienced it for myself. So that being said, you may want to grab a pen and paper and turn off any extraneous or possibly distracting things, Skype, Bings, Bongs, Facebook, phones, and everything else, because there's some really valuable information. If you got any other browsers and stuff, in fact, you may even want to refresh this page, okay, just to make sure everything's nice and clean and you're able to get all the stuff that's coming here. I know sometimes people have a slight delay in the audio-visual feed, so you can just refresh the screen. You'll be right back here with us in about 5 seconds. So assuming everybody's ready to go, I'm going to bring out Tony Rush. Now, this guy is my brother from the South. He is down in Alabama, and he's got a funny accent, but I'll tell you what, he's a real good guy to get to know in terms of not only gleaning his experience, okay, as I mentioned, he's one of the co-founders here and contributes a lot to our partners, our members, our team members, the people that we work with. But he's a great family man. I know his family, his wife, his children personally. Awesome people, and I love to get together with him and his family anytime that we get to spend time together live at a conference that we're speaking at or any sort of a live event. So that being said, I'm going to turn it over to the man behind the slides, Mr. Tony Rush.
Hey, John, can you hear me okay?
You sound good to me.
Hey, can you see my screen okay?
I see. Look, there's you and there's me.
Hey, it's picture time. You know what? I'm going to show you another photo. Do you remember this photo?
It's not one of my long-haired photos, is it? Oh, there we are.
Yeah, that wasn't the last time that our families hung out together, but it was it was last year. I think we were hanging out in Denver.
Yeah, somewhere out there in the Rockies.
Yeah. So, well, good. Hey, it's always good to hang out with you on a webinar. I always learn something, and thank you for the wonderful introduction, and thank you to our guests tonight. Let me kind of set the table a little bit about what we're talking about and what you can expect to get out of the next few minutes that we're hanging out together. We have cleverly named this webinar the $2.4 million napkin, how to create wealth from home without grinding. And John and I, we went through a handful of possible headlines for tonight's webinar, and some of them were quite funny, but this is probably the most indicative thing that we can say about what we're about to explain to you. It's simple enough that we really can draw it on a napkin. And I think at one point when we did this explanation, I think we actually used a picture of a cocktail napkin, and we did all the drawing on a cocktail napkin just to be slightly facetious. But nonetheless, what we're going to talk about here has allowed uh, it's allowed me and my wife to earn a little over now $2.4 million from home in the last 3 years. And I'll tell you a little bit of my story just so that you kind of have this. Well, who is Tony Rush, and why should I listen to Tony? I don't want to spend a lot of time on my story because we do have a lot to get to, but we are also committed that this webinar is going to be a little bit different from normal webinars. We want you to be able to look at your notes after we finish here, and we want this to not only mean something to you, but we want this to be something that you can actually put to use in your life right away. Okay. We're also going to talk about, and just by way of full disclosure, we're going to give you an opportunity to do some work with us if you'd like to. But whether you do or whether you don't, you're going to find that the information we're covering tonight is going to allow you to move much more efficiently in the home business world. So just as a just quick personal story, I got involved in the home business industry 20-something years ago. I know I don't look it. But I am older than I look. I will be 45 this year, and I got in the industry just after I turned 20. I think I was about 21 or 22, and my experience in the home business industry is pretty much like a lot of people's. Now, see if some of this relates to you. When I got started in the home business industry, one of the things that my sponsor told me was, you want to make a list of everybody you know. Let's get them on a legal pad so that we can go and talk to them about the business. If you've now, I don't want you to fall out of your chair, okay? I don't want you to, have a fit here. But if I say to you, the 3-foot rule, I hope you won't have nightmares tonight, but that was one of the things that my sponsor told me. The 3-foot rule, for those of you who don't know, means that if you're out at Walmart or the mall or at Lowe's Hardware, you're walking around and anybody comes within 3 feet of you, you're supposed to pitch them on your business. And John, you probably remember the old FORM method.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's strike up a conversation. Let's ask about their family and their occupation, their recreation, and then let's get down to money. FORM. Anyway, you name it. I went through all the classic old school network marketing training, including traditional sales training, things like Frank Betcher and Zig Ziglar and Tommy Hopkins, and you name it. I went through this whole gamut of trying to figure out how to get people to want to buy what I was selling. And long story short, I starved. You guys might can relate to that if you've done some of the stuff. If you've done the little milk and cookie parties in people's living rooms, right, where you invite them over. If you've done the deal where you invite friends and family, hey, come by the house. I want you to have dinner with us. And then sometime right after the cheesecake lands on the plate, you wheel out the big whiteboard. And, hey, let's talk about buying soap and selling soap. I never actually did the big A, Amway, but I think it was probably one of the few things that I hadn't tried at that point in my career. But you name it. Later, I got into doing hotel meetings, which was interesting, and actually made a little bit of money doing that. But God, what a grind! You work all week long, try to get people to come down to the hotel on Thursday night. It's kind of one shot per week of making money, right? And not everybody's a presenter. And of course, you got the good old-fashioned one-on-one. Let's draw some circles on the back of a napkin. I'm going to show you how to get three, who get three. Anyway, long story short, if you've been in the industry for any length of time, you're probably familiar with some or maybe all of these methods. And here's the thing I want to say first of all is it all works. It all works technically. And when I say it works, I mean it will produce a result. If you do anything long enough, it will eventually produce a result. But what we want to show you tonight is a method that when I got this, I actually started making a multiple six-figure income I went from enrolling just 2 or 3 people per month to enrolling 2 and 3 people per day. Not per week, but I mean, I regularly had people getting started in my business, 2 or 3 people a day or every other day. I went from enrolling, 2 or 3 a month to 15 to 30 per month, and then 60 per month. And I managed to free myself from the telephone, so that to the point that in the last 3 years I've enrolled. The actual number is over 3,000, but not all of those people necessarily place an order. So to be conservative, over 2,470 people that I've personally enrolled into my business in the last 3 years, and I did it without touching a telephone. So this is something you can learn. This is not an art. This is not a talent. This is a learnable skill, and I'm going to show you tonight the exact blueprint for how I did it. And it's a blueprint that you can use to make money doing just about anything you want to do. But we're also going to show you a model that is producing rather remarkable results in today's economy. I have a couple of slides here prepared for you, and I'm going to rush through them just real quickly. But I want to ask you a question. This is kind of an odd question about hamburgers. What was the best hamburger you ever ate? The reason I asked that question is I've asked this question of audiences of thousands of people all over the world. And there's always, they come up with all kinds of answers. It's a cheeseburger at a cookout, or my mom has the best hamburger. But there's one hamburger that nobody ever says, and that is McDonald's. Nobody ever says McDonald's is my favorite hamburger, unless maybe if you're under the age of 6, you might would say that. Why is that? Because if this is not the best burger around, then how did they sell $24 billion worth of these burgers last year? They sold more burgers than anybody. And the answer is simple, because McDonald's does not have the best burgers, but they do have the best burger selling system. Okay, Domino's Pizza, they did over $8 billion in sales last year. Does that mean they have the best pizza? No, it doesn't. What they do have, though, is an amazing pizza selling system. This fellow here, this is a photograph of the man who invented the first combustion engine automobile. This is not Henry Ford. This is Carl Benz. His first automobile was patented 23 years before Henry Ford rolled the Model T off the assembly line. He had a 23-year head start, and yet most people, if you ask them who invented the car, they'd say Henry Ford. So how is it that Henry Ford ate this guy's lunch? In terms of production, even though this guy had a 23-year head start? The answer is Ford had a system. Matter of fact, I think it was Ford's right-hand man, and his name slips my mind, but he had gone somewhere, and he was watching somebody make something. I can't remember if it was a bakery. Now I'm going to have to look up the story, because it's a fun story. But this guy went and saw this assembly line process being used in another industry that had nothing to do with cars. And he came back and he told Ford, we need to set up something called an assembly line, where instead of one person making all the stuff on the car, we got one person that just takes care of, the dashboard or the seat, and he pushes it down the line. So what made Ford successful was he had a system for making cars. Now, I can give you dozens of examples. We can keep going, but here's the thing. You can have the best product, the best compensation plan, the best customer service, but you will never have massive success in business or in today's economy until you have a system. And this is where most people in the home business industry are crashing, because they are, if you stop and look at the average process of what's happening in a network marketer's business, and let's see here, let me do a little drawing here. If you've got, we've got prospecting, right? We've got prospecting happening here. So this is where most people spend all their time. They're talking to friends and family. They spend all their time here. I mean, I'm going to say probably the average networker doing old school methods probably spends 75% of the time spent on the business is spent here, not talking to prospects, but trying to find prospects. And then from there, they do some type of a presentation, right? And this is often done with a let's give them a DVD, or let's do a one-on-one presentation uh, down at the coffee shop. That's a coffee cup. Uh, you know, that whole thing of trying to convince somebody, and it's no shows. It's driving across town trying to get somebody to look at something, and then it's a certain amount of people are going to not get started right away without follow up, and so there's the tedious process of having to call people and, hey, did you get a chance to look at that DVD I left you? Did you look at that brochure? Did you go to the website or whatever? And then maybe you've got a commission coming in. And what ends up happening, and I may be preaching to the choir just a little bit, what winds up happening is that people spend anywhere from 10 to 20 hours per week doing this stuff, right? And then when they finally do get somebody to sign up, they realize that their income just went up about $4 per month, and they say, I'm out of here. Okay? Now, this may sound like I'm describing a bit of a 1980s model, but here's the thing, I'm not. Because the sales process is always the same. The only thing that changes are the tools that we use. And so tonight, what I'd like to do is I want to show you how I moved that entire process onto the internet. I put down the telephone, and for the last 3 years, I literally I've not prospected, I've not called leads, I've not done three-way calls, I've not made a list of anybody I know. I literally only spend my time with people who have asked me about my business. Okay, so a couple things. Number one, we're going to show you true leverage. Okay, real leverage. Network marketers love to talk about leverage, and then they'll turn around and do one-on-one stuff like phone calls and prospecting. Okay, we're going to show you how to get away from that. The second thing we're going to show you is automation. Okay, and the third thing we're going to show you is the actual numbers. In other words, how to actually look at your business and get a snapshot at any moment. So I'm going to draw this. You can already tell I'm not an artist, but I'm going to draw this out in a way that I believe it'll be easy for you to understand. And I'd love you to take some notes. If you can copy what I'm about to put on your screen or take a screenshot of it, then this will be handy to you after we finish the webinar. But let's look at it from the standpoint of what we call a funnel. Okay, a funnel basically, this shape here is basically where you're going to put people in the top, and they're going to go through a process, and then dollars come out the bottom. Okay, and this process is done in a way that's automated, and it's highly profitable, and it's highly leveraged. What do I mean by leveraged? I mean, for example, on any given day, I have, it depends, but on average, I have between 100 and 200 people per day who are asking me for information about my business. Now, that alone, if I show you that alone tonight, this will be the most valuable thing that you ever put to use in your own home business. Can you imagine what your business can look like if you've got 100 or 200 people per day asking you? You go from hunting prospects to being the hunted. Our friend Mike Dillard talked about this in a book called Magnetic Sponsoring. He said, I wanted to go from being the hunter to being the hunted. So on any given day, I've got about 100 people asking me for information about my business, and I deliver that information without having to show up. I deliver it in a completely automated fashion, and I have a system that actually closes the sales for me. So this is a funnel. Let's draw it out sideways and kind of break it down into 3 steps. And this is the same process that I have used now for several years. So the first, let me just kind of draw it out first. You know what? Because of the way I'm sitting, everything is getting, you can tell I'm tilting things a little bit. Let's, this is why I'm not an artist. All right? We have 3 steps. I got to hurry through this too. This first page, these are websites, okay? This is a system, overall system. And the process that I use, and the process that I recommend that you use, this first one is called a lead capture page. You may also sometimes hear it referred to as a squeeze page. Now, lead capture page usually is a headline of some kind. There may be a video player here, but most importantly, there's a box where people can put their email address, and then they push a button to request information. Now, I'm going to go ahead and define what these pages are, and then I'm going to actually pour some people through this funnel so you see what happens in real life. Okay? So that's the lead capture page. Somebody fills out the form, they come over to the sales page. Okay? The sales page usually also has a headline. It may also have a sales presentation, or there could be lots of text, right? Could be a sales letter. But the function on this page is the opportunity for someone to watch the presentation, get details about the product or service or the opportunity being offered, and they can push this button to buy. And then, of course, that takes them over to our ever familiar order form where they're going to fill out, this is their credit card, right? And they're going to complete their order. Now, here's what happens. And this is, so, when I got this, guys, when I understood the ratios, this just blew my mind. Because once you know what the numbers look like, you can really dial this thing in an amazing way. And this is going to be so simple. Literally, I can write this on the back of a napkin, but I can probably get through this entire presentation of what happens here in about the next 6 or 7 minutes. And then we're going to show you something really cool. So hang tight. So the first thing that we do is we have to have traffic of some kind. What is traffic? Traffic equals people, just like traffic on a highway. This could come in the form of ads on the internet. It could be Facebook ads. When you go over to Google and do a search and you see those ads over on the side, it could be Google ads. You could be getting traffic from YouTube, a blog, even offline methods like magazines, right? Newspapers. It doesn't matter. The person you stand behind in line at the bank, they're on Facebook, they listen to radio, they watch TV, they read magazines, they read newspapers, they're looking at YouTube, they go to blogs. Traffic equals people. It doesn't matter where you find them, but you have some type of a mechanism, or what I tend to do, I use a lot of paid traffic, which means I basically just run an ad, and I pay somebody to actually handle all this for me. If you'd like to do this, we can actually show you how this works so that you don't even have to be the person out running the ads. But let's say I've got, let's say 100 people that come to my lead capture page. Okay? These could be people that saw an ad online, maybe they were looking at some blog or newsletter, whatever, it doesn't matter. But 100 people came to the website. Now, not everybody who comes to the website is going to request information on what I'm doing or what you're doing. Here's the good news. They don't have to, okay? Because, I'll give you an example. The page that I'm using right now is pulling at around 38, 39%. I'm going to put, just to keep the math simple, I'm going to say 40%. So if I have 100 people who come to my website and 40% of them fill out the form, okay, this form right here, I know that that's 40 people who are now going to go over here to my sales page. All right? Now, something else is going to happen here that I didn't mention, but I want to go ahead and mention it here. Once these 40 people fill out the form on the lead capture page, something else happens, is they're going to go onto my email list, and they're going to start receiving some automated, pre-written follow-up letters. Okay? These letters here take care of all my follow-up for me. So I don't have to call anybody. You know, these are just letters that I've already pre-written, and they go out automatically every day or two. So when 40 people fill out this form, That's 40 people who are going to go over here to my sales page, right? But it's also now 40 people that are in my email list. And we'll come back to that in just a moment. Now, 40 people are over here on my sales page now. Okay, what about the 60? What about the people that didn't fill out the form? Doesn't matter. You're not going to catch all the fish in the pond, right? But we have 40 people here who have raised their hands and said, you know what, based on what I saw on the lead capture page, I am serious enough to give you my email address to find out more. And that's when they come over here to the sales page. And they're going to get all the information on who we are, what we do, how we do it, and all the details on the product, service, or opportunity that we're selling. Now, the question is, how many of these people will buy? I'm going to keep the math really simple tonight. And let's just say hypothetically that, you know what, let's say 5% buy right away. So I make 2 sales. That doesn't sound like a lot, does it? But that's 2 people that leave the sales page and come over here to the order page, and when they buy, based on the product that I'm marketing right now, I know that on those 2 sales, I'm going to make about $250 on each of them. And that gives me an income of $500 on 2 sales. Now, here's the cool thing. I'm coming back over here to the email list. See this email list? These 2 people here bought right away. But there's 38 other people now who have not bought. And they're going to start getting these letters. One comes on Monday, one comes on Tuesday, skip a day, they get one on Thursday, Saturday, and next Monday, Wednesday, and suddenly something catches their eye, and maybe on day 8, or maybe I send an email out about a special bonus, and suddenly on day 8, I might actually wind up with 2 more sales. And that would give me an additional $500. Okay? Now, again, I'm keeping the math kind of simple here. Now, these numbers, they change. Sometimes it's not 40%. Sometimes it's 30%, you know? Or it might be 4 sales here instead of 2. Okay? It doesn't matter. But the point is, do you see the process? Do you see how if you put people in the top here, they go through a predictable process that's just like that funnel we drew just a minute ago, where you put people in the top and sales come out the bottom. But now here's the part that I want you to see, and I'm going to change colors one more time here. I'm going to be right in the middle. I'm going to be right in the middle of the screen here because I want you to really grasp this part. Once you've got your numbers, whatever they are, once you know that it's going to be 40% opt-in and then 5% of them buy, and you know what you're making on a sale, and maybe you've got another 5% that come in later, whatever it turns out to be, once you've done this for a little while, you've got a license to print money. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like having an ATM machine in your home. Because what you can say is, you know what, I'd like to have another $1,000 come in this week. So what do? I go to the top of the funnel up here and I say, I need me some traffic. Let me put $100 worth of traffic in the machine. That gives me 100 people. 40 people go to the sales page. 2 people buy, and then I got 2 more people buying. And you've got a machine where basically every time you invest some money in marketing, you're multiplying it. In this case, of this example, for every $100 you put into traffic, you're getting $1,000 out. Now, let me, at this moment, make the guys in the legal department happy. This is not a guaranteed income. I'm not saying that what I have for you tonight is some magical funnel where if you drop a $100 bill on the top, you get 10 out the bottom. If that's what you've picked up, I'm teaching a concept here. Okay? This is a concept. The numbers, they may not be exactly this every time. Sometimes my traffic may cost me more. You know, I may spend $200 on traffic, and I may not make the extra 2 sales. I might only make $500. Is that still a good deal? Yes. Yes, it's a fantastic deal. You know, if I had to spend $300 in marketing to make 2 sales, is that a good deal for me? Answer, yes. Because once I know what these numbers are, then I can start scaling up. Right? Think about it. If you knew that every time you put a $100 bill in your marketing, you were going to get, say, 400 out. Well, that means that if I put $1,000 into marketing, I'm going to get 4,000 out. You see? So now all of a sudden, $1,000 in marketing may equal $4,000 of income. And then you start tweaking it. Maybe this number goes up. Maybe you can tweak it some more. Maybe use a different sales letter, and this number goes up now. And now you're picking up 4 sales here, and you're picking up some more out of your email list as well. Now I can keep drawing all over the screen, but the basic concept here is really, really simple. It's a 3-stage process, and at no point in time do I have to actually personally show up, because this page was created for me, the lead capture page, right? The sales page is created for me, and the order page is created for me. Now, here's the beautiful thing. And again, it goes back to numbers. If out of 100 people, you know what your numbers are going to be, whether it's going to be, is it 30%? I don't know. Is it 40% here? Maybe you have a great sales page and you're picking up 10%. I was using an example a minute ago of just 5%. You know, there's all kinds of ways that you can tweak this machine. But here's the thing. Once you've got the machine in place, it's simply a matter of what do you want to market. Okay? What do you want to market? Because you could sell anything. I have an acquaintance who sells piano lessons. He's a great pianist. He shoots videos and he teaches piano licks and music theory on the internet to students every week, and he uses this exact same model. You can use it for selling vitamins, weight loss, skin care, information, ebooks, webinars, you name it. But now we want to kind of have a transition here, because not all products are made equally. So the question then becomes is, okay, I've got the machine. All right, a machine has been provided where I know that if I take care of pouring these people in the top, that I'm going to have this money coming out the bottom. So the question is, how can I tweak these numbers here so that what comes out here makes financial sense? In other words, you don't want to put $100 in over here and get $1 out, right? Now, some models, because of what's called lifetime value, which we won't have time to get into today, there's some models where if you knew that a customer was going to turn around and buy more stuff down the road, you could afford to spend $100 here and get $100 out, because it looks like you didn't make any money. But what that person may turn around and buy later may give you another $100, another $50, or you might start making $50 a month, you know, for the life of the customer, in which case now you're making $600 a year in that situation, right? So there's all kinds of different models, but it does raise the obvious question. Okay, the machine works. All we have to do is know what our numbers are. These are called conversions, okay? Know how much money is going to fall out at the end of the funnel, and then now we can start zooming in. So the question then becomes, all right, what am I going to market? And I'm going to actually bring John back in on this, because John's the guy. He and I, like he mentioned at the top of the webinar, he and I literally worked together for 10 years. And during that time, we've marketed everything from conferences. John, I think probably the most expensive product that you and I have ever marketed was probably a $19,000 financial conference. We've sold home study courses where, you know, people literally get a 20-pound box The UPS guy brings a 20-pound box, and they got, binders and DVDs and all kinds of stuff. We've sold digital products. We've sold various and sundry things, and the way you go about it, though, John's got a unique way of looking at the marketplace to identify trends. And I'm gonna close with this and turn it over to John. But somebody has once said that if you want to make some money, look at the marketplace. Okay? But if you want to make lots of money, I mean, if you want to be mega wealthy, if you want to have beach money, then you look at trends. Okay? It's not about what people are buying right now that you can make $10 or $20 on. What you want to look at is what is happening in the world, so that you're involved in something that on a chart you're getting in at the right time, and you're riding that rocket all the way to the top. So I'm going to turn this back over to John. John, I'm going to be unmuted here. I'm going to unshare my screen, though, so that we can talk a little bit about trends. What are the big trends going on today? Why people should be involved in them? And if you will, give as much detail as you want or as you will tonight about the project that you and I are working on and how it's working for you personally, and also what kind of results we're seeing for people who like to work with us personally, so that they can put this same machine into play.
Yeah, absolutely. A great explanation of the sales funnel process, Tony. It's something that is simplified and given us speed, for years now. It's something that I certainly wasn't familiar with back when I first started becoming successful in home-based business. It was very laborious, like you were talking about, getting with each person individually and that sort of thing. And I think a lot of people are still doing that. Nothing wrong with that method, except for one obvious thing I think that we could say is wrong with it, is that it's not scalable. So when Tony's talking about becoming very, very successful in business and becoming in that, let's say, that top 1% or 1/2 or 1/10 of 1%, it's going to require a bit of leverage, a bit of scalability. And this is something that, as Tony just drew it out, this is something that you can engage very easily with the internet. So I'm going to show you a couple of things right now, just real fast, for people who want to take action. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. For people who want to take action on these concepts, we've got a couple of things here. The first one is this right here. This is Home Business Labs, and of course this is the organization that Tony and I co-founded along with our other co-founders, a group of experienced marketers who have earned seven-figure incomes. In the intention for all of it is to give the new marketer, the newcomer, let's say the person who may be just transitioning out of a job or whatever, and who has not yet made their mark yet in home-based business, to give you our stuff, basically, is what this is. We've got, as you can see here, this is a complete portal that includes sales funnels, like Tony talked about the funnels. Right here they are, done for you, all in here. In fact, the same stuff that we use to do our marketing, we put in here. Here is where we publish it. This is actually our publishing platform. We've got live broadcasts, like one that you're on right now. We've got a variety of tools, sales pages, pre-written emails, training for our basic members. Also, we've got pro training. This is thousands of dollars worth of stuff that we've put back here just for our members to use at a very, very nominal, I mean, almost free. That's how inexpensive pro training is here, compared to what most people are doing, chasing secrets on the internet and buying courses for thousands of dollars. Again, nothing wrong with that, right? I believe Benjamin Franklin when he said, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance, right? So I am a big investor in my own education. But the point is here, we wanted to make stuff very usable for people so they can get speed to market. Okay, get into the marketplace quickly, because the most sure way of increasing your incomes is to increasing your value in the marketplace, which means you actually need to get into the marketplace, right? Not just sit around and learn stuff all day, but actually use it, right? So hopefully that's your intention for being here now. And so if we can take all those ingredients, to make a long story short, all those ingredients that Tony just talked about and put it into a workable system that's plug and play, well, then you've got it, right? Then you're ready to go. You're ready to go to market. Okay, now how much would all this cost, do you think, for having access to something like this? Well, thanks for asking. It's free. It's free. Now, why would we want to give away our best stuff for free? And again, there was some very small amount of paid stuff in here too, because we got to run servers and pay tech support people and all that. Yeah, it costs money to run a service like this. Okay, but why would we want to give away our best stuff? Well, here's why. Because of this thing once again called leverage and scalability. Tony earlier talked about. Let me come back on screen here for just a moment. Tony talked about what are you going to sell, right? People buy anything online. I remember in one of my books, Tony, I wrote about people that were buying garbage. It was authentic garbage. Yeah, from Yankee Stadium. You remember this?
Yes, I do.
Right. Would you, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, would you like this beautiful plexiglass piece of garbage? They actually took it from the Yankee Stadium garbage cans, and you can mount this on your mantle now, and you can put it next to your trophies and whatever. And people were buying it for like $100 a box.
John, have you heard the latest one? By the way, I know I'm going to lengthen our time here, but I've got to share that. Have you heard the latest one? Last week. And I don't know the price. I can look it up real quick and tell you what the price of it is. But apparently there is a large enough market for this. You know how like apparently there's a lot of young women or young men who they go home for the holidays and grandma says, Johnny, when are you going to settle down with a young girl? Sweetie, when are you going to get a boyfriend? Well, there's a new service now called Virtual Boyfriend, where for X amount of dollars per month, this service will provide you with text messages, emails, and voicemails of an imaginary significant other who is texting to say, "Hey, I love you," or "Hey, I'm running late," or whatever. And is a company that you basically hire to pose as a romantic interest, and they basically text you all off and on all day. They send you so that way the young woman or the young man can hold up their phone to grandma at the family dinner and say, well, look, he wanted to work, but he's in surgery this evening. He can't get out. He's a doctor. And I saw that, John. I was like, there is no shortage of people who will buy something if it's marketed in a systematic way. And apparently this company is right up there with buying trash. Somebody has found a need. Somebody has found an itch. And for a certain amount of money per month, they'll be happy to scratch it. It's wild.
This world's in trouble. We're dangerously close to going down a tangent. Tony and I can do that, by the way. We could go for hours, but we're not. We're gonna keep it on point. Here's what's coming up for me as Tony says that. It's not about need. It's about want, and it's about perceived value. So get this, everybody. You can go buy a car, for example, and maybe you buy the bare bones basic car. It's transportation, gets you from A to B, or you can go buy the Bugatti, right, which costs about $1 million more than the other choice that you could have made. So what's that about? Is it about need? No, it's not about need. You could take the bus. You could walk, right? You could get train tickets or something. You can take the subway. It's about want. Okay, and it's about perceived value. So I'm going to ask you if you got maybe some experience in online marketing using funnels like this. Have you seen some offers convert better than others? Have you seen that? I'm sure if you got any experience, you could say yes. Tony's talking about putting traffic in the top of the funnel, turns to leads, sales, right, and then maybe referrals, leverage. In the case of some like affiliate and network marketing style programs could turn into team members, people who can participate now and also earn money, and then now you've got leverage through an organizational effort, right? So what is the real thing we're looking for here? Something that will convert, right? Something that is socially desirable in the public to a large segment of the public. Much of the money Tony and I have made with great effort has been marketing niche products that maybe 0.5% of the public would ever be interested in. Never mind them being interested in today, maybe 10 years from now. But today, here's a small group of people that are interested in this exact sort of thing, this exact sort of, Tony mentioned, we've been involved heavily in educational products, information products, courses, seminars, live conferences. Okay, there's big money in that. But how many people are looking for that? What's the conversion rate on that? How much does it take to acquire a customer? It could be a lot, right? Could be a lot of money. And how many people can duplicate that kind of effort? These are all things to consider. So when you look at what kind of a business, especially for the newcomer, what would be viable in the short term, and then also provide a nice on-ramp that you can get something residual, you can get something consistent going, so you never have to work a job again, right? I mean, that's what this is really all about, is freedom, right? People say money won't make you happy. Okay, well, it'll get you free, right? And I'm happier being free than I am being, living in deficit and crisis and excuses about it and everything else. So, because I've been both, right? Poor, rich, I'll choose rich. Thank you. So if that's your choice, well, then what's the fastest road to get there? So through Home Business Labs, we have put together an entire front-end marketing system and training system and everything for a company that has the best converting thing I've ever seen in my decade plus of being successful. I've got a lot more than a decade of experience, but over a decade of being successful. Okay, that's what we're talking about. And out of all that time and the millions of dollars made, we've got something that is the best offer that I've ever seen for the public, for the biggest segment of the public, and it has to do with what Tony just talked about, which is that trend. Where is the trend going? Now, we're all on the internet right now. You're watching me. I'm looking at you via a computer system and a network of wires and fiber optic cables in between us. Okay, and yet here we are. Is that a trend? Are we moving more online? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Can Tony earn millions of dollars without picking up the phone, and doing prospecting calls and all this? Yes, he can. Right? What's that about? These are new trends. We're going in this direction. What's one of the most popular websites in the world? Facebook. People like to interact and be social. We're putting all this together, right? Think about this. What has happened in the retail sector? We're talking about the broad public here. Mr. and Mrs. America, okay? What has happened in the retail market in the last few years? Think about a term called Cyber Monday. You ever heard of that? There's a statistic that goes up every year. Online shopping. The trend is moving from here's the retail store, certainly the mom and pop stores, the small boutique shops, moving to online. Because of what? The convenience, the selection. We can do it right here sitting on our nice comfy chair, just like you're doing right now watching this, and we can get the best deals, we can compare prices. All of this shopping, billions and billions of dollars a year, is moving online. This is a trend, okay? And it's not just a young generation, okay? We've got all generations in this now. What if we could get into that revenue right there? I love niche marketing. I love high ticket. Here's the events, here's the educational courses. Sign me up for all of it. I love it. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on it. That's not Mr. and Mrs. Public, though, is it? What if we can get into that revenue? And we found a way to do it. And so that's what we've dedicated our efforts to with Home Business Labs. And my friends, what you're about to see, this whole project has only been going on for a couple of months. And it's already produced the best months of my career. And I'm not a spring chicken either. I'm not old either, by a long shot. But what Tony said, Tony and I are the same age, a few months apart. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Tony, any comments before I show the golden goose that's about to lay some eggs for everybody?
An idea that everybody says yes to. It's a marketer's dream. And I love the fact that what this allows. Well, yeah, if you don't mind, let me take just a moment. This will take probably a minute or two. Guys, you know how like in every home business you've ever been in, it involved you having to convince somebody to do something that they weren't already doing. Like, even if they were buying soap at Walmart, you were trying to get them to buy soap from your MLM company. Like, you had to convince them to do something, at least change stores. But in most cases, the sale was actually more difficult because you were trying to get them to buy something that they were not buying. It was new money they were going to have to spend. What John, when he called me about this, it was like he had found the Holy Grail. It was a way that I could make money on what people were already buying from the stores they were already buying from. Like, go buy an Apple iPad and I make money. What? How does that work? Do they have to buy it from me? No, they go to buy it at Apple. I mean, when he explained that to me, my brain almost shut down. I'm like, John, how does that even work? I mean, you're talking about how would I make money when somebody goes to Apple? He said, that's what I got to show you. And 2 months later, after 20-something years in the industry and having earned seven-figure annual incomes for years now. After doing what John laid out in front of me, in my second month in the business, I had the biggest month in personal income that I'd ever had. So I'm so excited that John's going to lay this out for you guys. John, lay it out for them the way you did for me, because it has completely changed my perspective on what's possible for the average person.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'd like to, but it would be a couple hours because Tony and I have known each other a long time, so we like to throw arguments at each other, right? Here's devil's advocate. Yeah, but what about this, right? Let's see if we could break each other's stuff. That, by the way, that's good marketing. Okay, that's good friendship too, right? You don't just, I mean, yeah, we trust each other implicitly, but at the same time, let's find each other's weak points and assist each other with that. And neither of us are perfect. Well, I'm perfect. I don't know about Tony. But,
hey, I tried to shoot it down. I'll tell you this, guys. John, was that the most aggressive I have ever tried to shoot something down? It's
yeah.
Man, it's like the longer I looked at it, the better it looked. So I'm gonna shut up now and let John show you what we are pushing through our machine. That is literally, it's I think we're well over $10-11 million in sales in the last 4 or 5 months now. I don't even know what the current number is now, John. It's ridiculous, and we're about to see. It's an opportunity to get in front of the money, find out where the money's going, and you get in front of it. That's a much more efficient way of making money than trying to push and push and push. You guys will like it.
Yeah, it's really strong, and it is interesting. The more people take it apart, the more they're like, oh my goodness, yeah, this really does work. So picture this. Picture being able to walk into any room in a hotel, and you got 100 people sitting in the room, anywhere in the world, and saying, I can guarantee every single one of you that I could show you how to get money online, and it does not have to cost you 1 penny out of your pocket tonight. Will that convert? Can you sell that? Right? What's one of the biggest objections in home-based business? I can't sell. Well, look, we got something everybody can sell. Check this out. This is a company called Doobly. They're based out of Denmark. They started 12 years ago. They started with e-commerce systems with like online auctions, reverse auctions, penny auctions, things that were kind of, they had some success. They made some money. It was founded by a guy who's a billionaire in the real estate world and has a great love for e-commerce and online marketing and stuff like that. A guy named Michael, who actually we've met with a couple times. We'll be meeting with again here in a couple weeks here in the United States. But what he did was he put together, and this company evolved over time, he put together what has become the world's largest online e-commerce direct selling company cashback program ever conceived. The only one that operates globally with over 11,000 affiliated companies that are doing business with Doobly, including some of those traditional MLM companies. Tony mentioned, I think you mentioned Amway or something. Well, I know Avon is in on this. Right, talk about a big, well-established home-based business company. He also mentioned Apple. There's another company that starts with an A. Okay, they're in here too. But here's what this is. You get paid to shop. You get paid to travel. You get paid, think like a customer here for a second. You get paid to just buy the online stuff that you're doing anyway. Right, here's your hotel reservations. Here's your Apple iPhones. Here's your finance and insurance. Your kids' clothes. Food, right? All kinds of stuff that gets sold online. All you do is you click, you shop, you earn. You sign up for free. See the big green button, big shiny green button, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, click right there, and you're even going to get a $10 bonus. Just use the service. Just let us give you money. Now, does that sound like a different sales pitch than, hey, we got the best jungle juice. Our berries have a higher antioxidant than the other guy's berries, so you need to buy our stuff and get on auto ship for $150 a month. And stock this stuff up in your garage because you know it tastes awful, right? Now look, nothing wrong with those kind of businesses. I drink jungle juice. I like it. Okay, I'm just not in business to sell it. Okay, I'm in business to help people make money. And if you got a real passion for jungle juice, please go sell jungle juice. That's not what we're doing here. We're doing e-commerce because I have found, my friends, that it is so much more profitable to deal in intangibles than it is to deal in tangibles. With this service that you're about to see, we have no shipping, we have no receiving, we have none of the manufacturing problems, none of that, none of it. People are just going to their favorite stores. Here's Priceline, here's Hotwire, here's Lowe's Home Improvement, here's Best Buy, Tony mentioned Apple, Starbucks, Sports Authority, thousands and thousands of stores. How much cash back can you get this year, Mr. and Mrs. Customer? Well, if we just set it very conservatively, we just said, oh, you only do $2,000 of travel in a whole year. Shopping, $2,000, that's it. That's all of it. Utilities, $2,000. We're just going to put all these numbers extremely conservative. We got telecom companies, electricity, insurance. We got Allstate. We got State Farm. It goes on and on. If you did all of this and you were just a free member, here's $289 of cash back money that we can give you, and it doesn't cost you a penny out of your pocket to get started today. It doesn't cost you a penny out of your pocket ever in this case. Now, you want to upgrade and you want to get up to $661 cash back just based on this very small amount of shopping you're doing anyway. Well, then here you can go. $99 a year, you get it all. You even get your own prepaid debit card. You even get a customer referral program. Send your friends, and we'll give you money for that too. It's all in here. And they sign up for free, and they get a $10 cash back credit. Now, keep in mind, this is post-transaction money, post-tax money, going onto a credit card where they can go to ATM machines, they can go spend the money. Think about this. I'm going to show you my account. And again, we're just talking as I'm a customer right now. Never mind that I'm a business marketing guy. Okay, I'm just John Lavenia, the customer. I'm going to log into my cashback account, and I'm going to see if does this actually work? Here's my account. Here's cashback. This is just as a customer. I've received on my Doobly prepaid MasterCard already, just in the 5 months that I've had this, doing the shopping I had to do anyway, $506 plus $80 in rewards for a few people that I've referred as customers that decided to go ahead and buy the paid service. I wasn't even trying to sell this, by the way. This happened by accident. I don't even know who these people are. They just found my link and bought it. And I've got another $312 in pending. Takes like 30 days or whatever for the money to hit, depending on each merchant. Okay, so I'm in this deal. I'm $900 ahead, right? And it was $99 a year to sign up for the go for the Gusto VIP. Here's the question, my friends, in consideration of long-term residual income. Will John Lavenia, the customer, the Doobly customer, will he ever cancel his $99 a year membership? Never. Never. You want auto ship, you want residuals, you want recurring income, this is it. Because I cannot lose with this. Again, think like the customer for a second. We don't want anybody getting a brain hernia out there in the public, right? Just keep buying the stuff you're already buying, but let us give you money. My friends, this can go viral. It already has in some countries. It's coming to America. Now, regardless of where you're watching this right now, we got a wide open opportunity because here's what's behind all this. This is Doobly Network. This is what the customer doesn't see. This is the marketing arm. Okay, this is what's driving it into the marketplace. Why is it being driven into the marketplace right now? Well, let me show you this. Whoops. Let me show you this right here. This board of directors. These are some pretty heavyweights in business. Blas Garcia Moros is the guy. We're talking about the guy who brought Microsoft to Latin America. 15 years working with Bill Gates, the number 5 guy in Microsoft. He's the chairman of the board. Michael Hansen, the guy's already a billionaire, right? He's made it in real estate, Dubai, Denmark. He owns the largest home in his country. He designed the Star Wars line of Legos. I'm talking about a heavyweight in business right here. He doesn't need the money. How about this guy, Lester Rosenkrantz? Just look at this guy. He's the director of finance, and this is a publicly traded company. Now, what does that mean? That means that these people and the other people behind the scenes, including every shareholder, would very much like for the stock value to go up. What do you think would happen when Doobly captures the largest consumer markets in the world, places like the United States, like the United Kingdom, China, like South Korea? Think about this. This is where we're heading with this, and we get to help. We get to participate, and we're rewarded tremendously for it. Tony, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The company is throwing money at us. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and make any public income claims right now. I'd have to show you pages and pages of documents to disclaim everything and make sure that everybody understands I'm not guaranteeing income. But I can tell you that after well over a decade of successful direct selling, I just had the best month of my life with a product that customers can get for free. This company's on to something, my friends. Now, to participate, we showed you Home Business Labs before. Okay, you get all this. This is just myself, Tony, and our other co-founders. We just want to go to work for you. Why? Because when you succeed, we succeed. That may sound cliche, but and again, I'm not going to show you on the inside of Doobly Network. You'll have to see that for yourself once you're a member. In fact, I invite you to contact me directly. Once you're a member, you get started with whoever invited you here tonight. Doesn't have to be me or Tony. We're here working for the entire team. Okay, well, whoever invited you here tonight, I'd be happy to show you some statistics once you're a member on the inside of the reality of what's happening with this company. We are in a total explosion condition right now, and we're only a few months in. I figure this is a 2 to 3 year project. Companies listed on NASDAQ, everybody's happy. They're building homes in the Grand Cayman Island for the people that really help the company drive this into the marketplace. I'm fully expecting to be there. I know, Tony, you're going to be living next door. We're going to do barbecue, smoke cigars. I mean, this company is sparing no expense to capture this market because it's worth billions to them. They're already the biggest in the world. Thank goodness for us, for marketers, that they chose a network marketing style business model to put this into the marketplace. But here's the problem, my friends. Here's the problem. Look at this. Home Business Labs, all this marketing expertise, this is what's missing in most network marketing companies, in fact, almost all network marketing companies. It's marketing. People don't know what to do. Well, you won't have that problem anymore when you get started with Doobly Network and Home Business Labs. With whoever invited you here tonight, you get all that stuff on the house. The missing link that keeps most people chasing their tail, inviting their friends, family, and neighbors to meetings they don't want to be at, to try and sell them vitamins, skin cream, and jungle juice that they don't want to drink, and just for them to quit 30 to 60 days later because they're not making any money. It's ridiculous. And we've solved it. We've solved it. And you're hearing it right at the beginning. So look, I don't know if timing means anything to anybody here. I know it certainly means that it means a lot to people who are, business savvy. And it means a lot to me. But when I saw this, I just couldn't. I was already busy. I had 4 other businesses running. I mean, I'm a busy guy. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I develop online marketing stuff. Really busy guy. But everything had to be put on hold for this because it's that big. Below this video, you'll find a button, and it will bring you to a page that looks like this. You fill in your information. You pick your country. We're in every country on the planet. Are you in Bahrain? Are you in Cape Verde? Ghana? What do we got here? Kuwait. Where is that one that starts with a U? There's a few of them. This one right here, the United States. That's where I am. So you go ahead, you pick your country, and you get this whole menu of products right here. Now, before I show you, people may be wondering about, oh my goodness, this is going to be big dollars. We're talking about billionaires here. John and Tony are accustomed to selling $20,000 packages. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But I'm doing better with this. Watch this. $99. You get a business license. Yay! You're in business. Now, you want to participate as a team member? Get yourself a 5-pack of those VIP memberships for $495, right? One of those you'll want to use for yourself. You'll want to be your own customer, okay? 4 more, give them to friends, give them to your family. Instead of dragging them to a meeting to sell them jungle juice, give them something that's going to make them money, right? You're going to get them as customers anyway. Look, you get commissions on all the transactions that happen. Every time, I didn't even mention that. All this money that I got cash back here as the customer, well, guess what? I also got commissions on all these transactions because I signed me up as a customer. Think about this. This is double dipping mania. And this is the case for any customer that you put in. They sign up for free. Maybe they upgrade. Maybe they don't. Regardless, you get paid on every transaction they make when they go buy the stuff at Walmart.com or the pound of coffee that gets shipped to their house from Starbucks.com or whatever, right? The MacBook Pro that I'm talking to you on right now that I paid $3,300 for at Mac Mall, you get commissions on all of it. There's even a partner program. I'm not going to get into it right now, but this is a major customer acquisition play that's happening here. So this plus this, you're in it for $594. If you're in other countries, like in Europe, you get to do euros. In Australia, there's Australian dollars, but once again, I'm an American, so I'm showing you what I get to see as an American. Then we've got these packages for actual, real business builders, team leader type people. Partner program accelerator package. This is about $3,700 worth of value here, including $2,500 worth of those VIP customer memberships. and which you can resell, get your money back, plus commissions, plus the commissionable revenue from when the customers use the service, right? All of that's in here. Plus you get a $1,000 sales certification course, which will give you tremendous leverage when you get into this partner program thing. There's more details in here. Plus you also have the business license included in there. All that for $24.75, and you're done. So this is about 10% of what guys like Tony and I are accustomed to, and as far as like a business startup, right? So here's 25 grand. Well, let's just knock a zero right off of there. $24.75. You're done. Okay, now some people have gotten started with a smaller package and then just upgraded later by paying the difference. That's fine too. I'm not here to tell you what you have to do. I'm just showing you your choices. What Tony did, what I did, and what about 80% of us here in the team have done is this. Or this if you're in countries that do not yet have a dedicated shopping mall. That's fine. Either way, they're both $24.75. Or there's a mixed package as well. Okay, but my suggestion is, if you're going to do something like this, just hit it hard. Because half measures avail us nothing, my friends. As long as I've been in business, and Tony, you can attest to this as well. In fact, one of my nicknames in the publishing world is the Godzilla of personal growth, because I just hit something so hard. Because I'm not here to tiptoe through the tulips, right? I mean, we're in business for a purpose, and that purpose is to succeed. Well, then let's do it, right? So this would be my suggestion, and this gives you a lot of advantages. But there's no shame in also getting started with one of the smaller packages. Like this one right here, or whatever you want to do. Okay. Either way, we're going to give you access to our stuff right here for free. But you got to be a Doobly Network member. This isn't for the general public. So that's what you're seeing here tonight. I know we've gone just a few minutes over, but guys, look, I'm excited. I'm going to come back on the screen just so we can just talk a little bit before we wrap this up, and maybe bring Tony back out. I know Tony, your camera was not able to be live tonight, but here's the point that I'd like to leave you with for on my part. Guys like Tony, guys like myself, and people like you, you're a very able person. I doubt you would be on here spending an hour with us here tonight when you could be watching Dancing with the Stars or killing time in the average American way. Okay, you're here because you're already motivated. I don't need to motivate you. Guys like us and gals like us, right? Gals like us, Tony, we can go anywhere and make money. Okay, why are we doing this? Well, there's got to be some pretty compelling reasons, and I can tell you why I'm doing this is because part of, and I've done this in my writings and my seminars and stuff, part of what I see myself here to do, just as a being on the planet, is to assist in augmenting some prosperity and some prosperity consciousness and some some happiness in the world, and I can do that no better way than through a network marketing style business. Okay, so as much as I may not be a big fan of typical network marketing, and I'm not. This is different. This is something that's worth our time. This is something where we can actually have an effect, okay? Because we're online, we're doing something that the customers want, right? That's not just socially acceptable, but socially desirable, and that is, in my assessment, the easiest thing to sell I've ever seen. Easiest thing to sell. So all the people who never made their mark before can finally come here, learn some sound marketing skills, work with people who actually know what they're doing, as evidenced by their statistics, and get something in the market that people actually want, and that will provide possibly the only true stable ongoing income, because nobody's getting off of auto ship on this one, right? You start using the service, you start getting cash back, nobody's quitting, right? So I'm in love. That's all I got. Tony, closing comments.
You know what? I'll keep my comments brief. Like John, I think I was already earning over $100,000 a month in personal income when John showed me this. So I didn't need. I mean, it wasn't like I was trying to quit a job. I had that struggle. I was already. That's part of my early story. Was that I needed to get out of a job, or I couldn't pay my bills. I'm very grateful that over the years we've learned a lot. We've learned how to make money and leverage systems like I showed you tonight. The napkin process that's allowed us to earn over $2 million, almost $2.5 million in the last 3 years. But when John showed me this, I wasn't looking for a business. And I just wasn't. So why am I here? I'm here because this was something that I could see people winning. I could see I'm going to make money whatever I do, just because I've learned a skill set. John Lavenia's the same way. He's the kind of guy you could parachute him into any town in the country, in the world, with a laptop, and no money, and he'll fly home first class within the week. I mean, that's just how he's a professional marketer. But let me tell you something. The MLM graveyard is full of good, hardworking men and women who just didn't have all the pieces of the puzzle on the table at the same time. And that is a tragedy of this industry, is that there's people who really need to get home to spend time with their kids. There's husbands who are not seeing their wives. There's families who are ripped apart by financial stress. And all it would take, if they had an extra $500 a month coming in, it would change their life. I think John and I were talking about this. It's maybe been longer than I think. Maybe it was a year ago, but there was some statistic that said if the average the average family who's experienced a bankruptcy, if they had had at least an extra $500 a month coming in, they could have avoided bankruptcy. And here's the thing: we haven't shown you pictures of private jets. We haven't shown you a picture of John's new house out in Salt Lake City, or you go to these presentations and you see all the toys and all the stuff. Listen, the average person probably watching this right here, they would like to have that one day, but right now what they'd really love is they'd love to be able to come home from work about 10 or 15 hours a week, part-time, alongside whatever it is they're already doing, and just know that they can pay their 2 biggest monthly payments by working a simple system. Like, is that true for you? Like, if you knew that working this business with John and me and the rest of our partners and whoever invited you to the presentation tonight, if you knew that probably your house payment and your car payment were knocked out, is this not really the best financial decision you've ever seen? Is to be in a business that's positioned on a global trend. Nobody's going to stop buying MacBooks and Sephora makeup and Sports Authority and band instruments and cosmetics and clothes and back to school. People are going to buy that all the time. Why not get your slice of a multi-billion-dollar pie and do it in a way where, just like with a napkin that I showed you guys earlier, you've got a system, a predictable, measurable system in place that you know that if I do A, B, and C, then X, Y, and Z takes care of itself. And in your case, maybe that X, Y, and Z looks like a car payment or a house payment that's being paid that doesn't have to come out of your job paycheck anymore. A second income without a second job. Wow, what a concept. And then here's the other thing, and this is something you can't put a price tag on, John. This is the emotional payoff, the vindication that we get to feel when we find out that, by God, I do have what it takes to make money from home, whatever my negative relatives told me. And no matter how many times I tried those other programs in the past, and I tried the juice and the vitamins and the skincare, hey, all that's in the past. We can't live in the past. But all of a sudden, you come here, you start using a simple system with a product that just everybody says yes to, and all of a sudden, you've got hundreds or thousands of dollars coming in. And all of a sudden, you've proved yourself what you really are capable of in a home business when you have all the pieces of the puzzle on the table at the same time. My friend, that's what you've got here tonight. If you have ever said before, gosh, I'm just never in the right place at the right time, you can never say that again after today. You've got the system, you've got the product, you've got the compensation plan, the support, and you've got the opportunity to look over the shoulders of millionaire marketers like John Lavenia or Randy Schrum, excuse me, or Christian Henneke or myself, or any one of dozens of others top earners that are part of the Home Business Labs, who will willingly open our playbook and say, here's what I do. Oh, are you asking a question about step 2 in the funnel? Yeah, here's how we do it. And we'll help you. We really will help you. So I would say, if you're ready to change your life, hit the button below, get started. You will join with the person who invited you here tonight, but you will be a part of this organization, and you'll have access to all the Home Business Labs information and training. And let's lock arms. Let's lock arms and make 2015 the best financial year of your life. John, I always appreciate hanging out with you. You bring a perspective to the conversation that few people get to ever experience, and it's been worth millions of dollars to me over the years to work with you, and I appreciate the kind words you used tonight to describe my work. And as always, it's a pleasure hanging out with you, and I'm looking forward to working with everybody who's getting started tonight. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Tony, for all your service here tonight. Some absolute gold nuggets, and right back at you. Thank you for your authenticity and for your integrity. I think that's the real bottom line for anybody who's looking for something real that's actually going to work in terms of an online marketing opportunity. It's at least as important as what you do. And we got something really good that we're doing, but it's really nice to be able to do it with people you actually like working with. Big departure from the corporate world, right? So I remember those Dilbert cartoons. Anyway, guys, button below. We've gone 16 or 17 minutes over. Thank you for participating with us here tonight. I want to hear from you. You're getting started tonight with whoever invited you here. Make yourself known. Okay, squeaky wheels get the oil, and we want to give you some oil. So thanks again. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great night.